Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dancing Oracle with Najia. I'm a psychic medium, but today I have something a little different that I want to do. I want to talk about the sleeping prophet, Edgar Cayce. Edgar Cayce is someone I started reading about, oh gosh, when I was, I think, in my teens. I had seen his books, and there was one on healing, like an encyclopedia of healing based upon his readings, his channeled sessions that were written down by his assistant while he was sleeping. So, if you're not familiar with Edgar Cayce, um, he was born in 1877. And he passed away in 1945. And we all know him as the sleeping prophet. And because he was a medical clairvoyant, he's known as the father of holistic medicine. And he's definitely the most impressive psychic of the last century. And, for decades of his life, Kay-Cee gave these readings. They're not in the normal way that most psychics do, but he gave these readings in an unconscious state to thousands and thousands of people. He would diagnose their illness, and then while he's diagnosing their illnesses, he's revealing their past lives. And even he would make predictions about things that yet to come, and they would come true. So he is very unusual, and I highly recommend getting his books from ARE, the Association for Research and Enlightenment, that was started from his son. I even had a chance to go down to ARE in Virginia Beach area, right? It was a wonderful place. I didn't have a lot of time. I was on my way back from a dance contest that I had to bring my troupe to. We won a trip to Virginia Beach, and they entered us in another contest because we had won the contest. I think we won again. I can't remember, but I had won the choreography prize. When we were down there, we're like one of the dance troupe members, Jenny, she was really into Edgar Cayce as well, like me. And she said, "We gotta go stop. We gotta stop there. We have to go down to the Association of Research and Enlightenment at the foundation place." So it was incredible. Cayce, he was born in Kentucky, right? And he's been psychic, early on since childhood. He was actually able to see and talk to his late grandfather's spirit. And like lots of children, he had imaginary friends whom he said, there were spirits on the other side. He knew that. He also, it's like the weirdest thing about him, the most incredible, not, I shouldn't say weird, but it's remarkable. It's like unbelievable. But this is what I remember about him the most. He would sleep on a book, and just simply by sleeping on it, like a under his pillow or something. I think he put it under his pillow. He would have the whole book memorized. I mean, I think this started like he wasn't doing well in school. And I think I mean, I'm trying to remember how this came about, but I think it was because he wasn't doing well in school. And Spirit told him to sleep with the book under his pillow. And he did. And after that, he woke up being able to memorize, he knew the whole contents of the book. And that's why he's called the sleeping prophet. That's one of the reasons, because he would sleep on the book and remember it, but also because his channel readings happened while he was asleep, literally asleep. And he would speak, and it was all written down from his assistant. Yeah, so, you know, as remarkable as his gifts were, people considered him strange, they thought, oh my God, he's so strange. Imagine growing up in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, right? Imagine growing up in Hopkinsville, Kentucky in the late 1800s, right? Post-Civil War era, right? Like just late, pre-Victorian. And just like, who is this kid? You know? Yeah, so but really all Edgar Cayce wanted was to help others, especially children. Yeah. So later in his life, Edgar Cayce, he he realized, he had this ability to put himself into like a sleep-like state by lying down on the couch, closing his eyes, and folding his hands over his stomach. And in this state of relaxation and meditation, he was able to place his mind in contact with all time and space, the universal consciousness. Can you imagine having that gift? Being able to just lie down on the couch and relax and kind of just go into this almost sleep-like state and touch upon that. I mean, how profound is that to be able to do that? I mean, I wonder what his previous life was, that led him to have this natural ability in this particular lifetime where he was known as the sleeping prophet. Yeah, so he went into this universal consciousness, also known as the superconscious mind. And when he was in touch with this, he could respond to questions as broad as, what are the secrets of the universe? And what is my purpose in life? To something as specific as a medical issue, like, what can I do to heal my arthritis or help it? Or really wild out there, how were the pyramids of Egypt built? His responses to these questions came to be called readings. So these are not readings in the normal way that I do a reading or most psychics do a reading. So this is like really something very special. And yeah, so their insights, they were so practical, and they help individuals even today because all this material was written down and recorded, and later they were compiled into books. Like they would take, he's reading for specific people, and they're not meant to be books, right? Originally, they're just recorded from his assistant. And later, I think after his passing, they were put into books, I think from his son, Hugh, as I remember. Because just it's late at night. I want to do another. I've been wanting to talk about Edgar Cayce, just start talking for a while. And I thought, let me start, right? Let me start right now and share what I know, okay? And then if you like this video and you want more, I want to kind of go into specific subjects and research them. Like, yeah, you know, How were the pyramids created? I've read a lot of his books, but I never saw that part. So I'd have to do some research because I would love to see what he said. In fact, I just ordered this book. It was highly recommended. It's a new Edgar Cayce book I bought. I haven't bought an Edgar Cayce book in like a decade, probably. I bought this one. I hear it's really good. A Seer Out of Season, the life history of the life of history's greatest psychic. And it's written by Harmon Hartzell, right? Bro, PhD. And I'm gonna, that's gonna be my summer read. I don't have a chance to read it yet. It's a it's a deep dive. His stuff is pretty heavy. Um, you have to take it slowly and kind of digest it. It requires a lot of digesting and cross-referencing. But I would like to do that if you're interested, you know. I'd love to do that. I know he had um the one book, a couple of books I've gotten over the years. Maybe I've bought three of them. I've given some away, so I forget like, but I've bought like the remedies for healing, and I've used them. I've used them, and my God, they really work. Because he was a medical intuitive. People came to him with problems. And the thing is, this is before like there was a lot of medical science. And his cures, and he even told surgeons how to operate. He just knew everything from the superconscious mind. He could tap into it. But all this stuff is recognized 100 years later. This is his teachings are still valid. And yeah, so even though he was a psychic, and that was like a big deal, no to be a psychic, right? When you're a churchgoer, that's always been my little thing I fight over the years, back and forth, being a psychic. But, many people were surprised because he was a devoted churchgoer and a Sunday school teacher. He was actually a Sunday school teacher. And, when he was young, he vowed to read the Bible for every year of his life. So every year until he died in 1945, he read the Bible over and over. And he actually accomplished it. I used to read the Bible cover to cover different times, but not every year. Not every year. All right. I was a spiritual seeker. And there was a couple years I wanted to be a nun and volunteered at the convent for a couple years. And, but I went a different route. And the one nun I worked with and did laundry with, she filled me in on real convent life and said, it's not easy. It's really hard to live with other women. And she thought I'd make a good mom and would want family. And, she said, I was just about to discover boys. And she said, you're going to discover boys and you're going to want a family. And she was right. I discovered boys, but I never got to have my family, physical family. I have my dance family. Oh, so, even though he passed away a long time ago, I mean, 3/4 of a century, his materials are timeless. They're that helpful. You could read his material. He has, about discovering your mission in life, or he has readings on developing your intuition, um, as well as the ancient mysteries we were talking about. And, people that after his death, they put a lot of this, they would take sporadic readings from all different places, thousands and thousands of readings, and they would put similar subject readings together, and they would put them in a book, right? So I bought the health books, and I'm gonna go research. I want to find out about ancient mysteries. As you know, I want to know about Egypt. I've been there 4 times. I spent months and months and months in Egypt at a time. I almost lived there. I almost took a dance job for a hotel, belly dancing um, for them up in Alexandria. But I had just bought my house, and it wasn't feasible to take that job, even if it was just for a few month contract. Oh, so, these books are like so valuable. Their information, um, that even Edgar Cayce, I don't know, he would have even hesitated to predict their impact, right, on our world. Um, when he passed, um, who could have, I mean, this is like way before terms such as meditation or spiritual growth or auras or soulmates and holistic health were common. Like nobody talked about this. He was he was before his time. But if you read a lot of his writings, the majority is dealing with holistic health because he was a medical intuitive, and it was all about the treatment of different illnesses. And so many people from every walk of life, they received a lot of physical relief from whatever they were suffering from. And some of these readings are 100 years old. They're almost a century old. um although he's best known for this material. um Casey, he wasn't limited to the concerns, of the physical body and being a medical intuitive. There's like over 10,000 different topics, and they're all made into like subgroups that I talked about. And so there's basically 5 categories if we want to think of it. There's the health related, there's philosophy and reincarnation. And he's a Sunday school teacher. That was a big no-no to talk about that. But, it's real. Reincarnation is real. It was taken out of the Bible. We found earlier works of the Bible preserved about in the 1940s. We found one in one that was the Old Testament and one that was the New Testament, right? We have the Nag Hammadi, and we have the Dead Sea Scrolls, and they were both discovered around the same time. So then we have the original writings before things were edited at the Council of Nicaea. Because people use politics and power, they corrupt spirituality. They they take out the message for their own purposes, for power and acquisition, right? And then we're missing those sacred teachings all these years. But Casey, he was able to tap into reincarnation, like almost 100 years ago. And there's a whole philosophy of life. He, there's also dreams and dream interpretation, how to interpret your dreams, all about ESP, extra sensory perception and psychic phenomenon. And of course, how to grow spiritually, with meditation and prayer. And there's a book that his foundation recommends. I mean, I'm reading this one right now because I hear it's really good. But the Kay-Cee Foundation recommends There is a River by Thomas Sir Rue, Surgrue, Sugrue. It's available in various versions. You can get the hardback, you can get the paperback, or an audiobook. It may even be on Kindle. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't doubt it, right? I would imagine by now it's on Kindle. Um, you know, the Association for Research and Enlightenment, ARE, that's Edgar Cayce's foundation in his honor. Um, it's a nonprofit and they have access, members. You don't even have to buy a book. If you're a member, you don't have to buy a book because you have access to the entire set of over 14,000 readings in a database. It resides online in the members only section. So if you really want a deep dive into the life of Edgar Cayce, you may want to join that association. And oh my God, he's just such an amazing gifted man, such a prophet, such a prophet. And one of the reasons I got interested in checking him out again was I made a prediction about, I've had this vision over 40 years ago, like it kept happening, this dream about the future. And it was shown to be two suns in the sky at a time when there's cars that make no noise, meaning electric cars, right? Um, which is about now, right? And I've been thinking about these two suns. I've been thinking about them, and I did a couple videos on them because I've had predictions that come true. I've had dreams, I've had prophecies, different things. I've had clairaudience, really loud, telling me things. I've had visions, all kinds of different things, and dreams. So I started talking about them because I know that things are changing now. And when I shared my vision of the two suns, someone said Edgar Cayce had the same vision. I have to go find it. Listen, if you know where that writing is, in what book, where is that about the two sons? I would love to see what he said. And then in the last week, one of my favorite angel channels, she channels angels, right? And her name is evading me now. I am so sorry. Oh my God. I can just picture her face. Ann Tucker, I believe. Her name is Ann Tucker. So she was on a podcast, someone else's show, and she said something I never heard before. This seems to be a more recent vision. She said there would be two suns in the sky in the future, and that one had kind of a halo around it. And I'm like, oh my God, that's what I saw. I saw the regular sun that we have, how we see it. And then I go off on the other side and I'm like, is that the moon? It's too bright to be the moon. And there was kind of a halo around it. And I'm like, what is going on? It's the wrong time of day to have a moon come out. You know how sometimes you have the sun on one side of the sky and the moon on the opposite? But this was different. It was almost like a V. So there's a sun here, and there's this moon, other sun right over here. So it didn't make sense. And I'm looking at it, and there was a halo, and it was kind of like trying to figure out what's going on. What is going on? And they were the same size. They're basically the same size. Now, I know that when you look up in the sky, the sun changes a lot, the moon changes a lot, you know, depending where it moves in the sky. But I got the sense, they're basically appearing the same. And then after and I've had this dream multiple times. This is not a one-off. And I'm trying to figure it out. And then I go look down the driveway and I see this car kind of just going down the street, but it makes no noise. And I'm like, oh my God, that person forgot to put their emergency brake on. Let me go look, go close to the street because, oh my God, are they okay? Or, maybe I can get in their car and put the brake on or something. And then I realized it's not rolling down. It's like there's no issue with the emergency brake. There's someone in the car and the car makes no noise. And this is like 40 years ago, 38, at least 38. And I think it's probably 41 years ago. It's a long time. I have to think about it. Exactly. I know where I worked, so I kind of know the time span at this one place I work because I would talk to my coworker about it, these crazy dreams I would have. And yeah, so if you know about Edgar Cayce's prediction about the two sons, please comment. Please, please, please comment and tell me which book you think you saw it in. And if you find the book for me, even better, so you know for sure which book, or if you have the book and you can find the page, oh my God, I'd be so happy. All right, so I hope you enjoy Edgar Cayce because I would love to start. Hit the like button if you like it. Then I know to do more Edgar Cayce videos. I want to do one on cats next because he had things to say about cats. And I'm a major cat lover. I love animals, but cats, I don't think I would survive life on planet Earth without the kitty cats. I think I would just crack. It'd be too hard. The cats heal me. So I want to do a video on that. They're really special animals. And Edgar Cayce had some thoughts about that. So let me know. Take care. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. I'll be back to do more readings. In the meantime, if you'd like to hire me for a psychic reading, I also do energy coaching to help you transform your energy. It costs a lot less than a psychic reading and mentoring, psychic mentoring, how to develop your intuitive gifts. So I do a number of things and chakra alchemy, how to balance your chakras through movement. I've been doing that for like, at least 12 years. People love it. So take care and have a blessed week.